Yep, it was in the early days of Overwatch, and we're just about to finish off this whole bunch of attackers. Ooh, and a double Dragon Strike kill. Genji, you. Well, just get rigged by Bastion. Reaper, you. Get out of here. And look at this, you. Get out of here too. Let's review Hanzo. So, this is Hanzo, one of the snipers in Overwatch, and is one of the heroes within the defensive sets. And it's about 200 health, or he's about 200 health. And with his main weapon we're going to talk about first, it's called the Storm Bow. It does a nice little amount of damage, 29 to 125 depending on the charge, and fires in a parabolic arc, or arch at least. So you do have to lean onto your shots a little, or lean them up or downward depending on where the enemy's at. And it has infinite ammo too, and you can fire from a lot to pretty much not a whole lot depending on the charge. And also aim for the headshots too, because that's double that. So what about his other abilities? What can they do? Caught in a tight situation, or you want to go into a higher position? No problem. One of his abilities is a passive, and it's simply called wall climb. If you hold the jump button, you're going to be wall climbing, but you can't move left or right. But you'll keep on climbing until you hit the rooftop, or if you hit a large obstacle. But this is perfect if you want to get out of sight, or if you want to go onto a higher rooftop, and you can just simply snipe the enemies from there. But you also have no cooldown with this ability as well, which means you can use it as much as you like. And as you can see here, you can't really climb as much, but you can go onto the side there and just finish off or just get into a better position. What about his other abilities? What do they do compared to this one? Want to catch your enemy in the act but don't want to get really close and tell the people about it? No problem. Just use Sonic Arrow. Sonic Arrow basically does the same damage as the Storm Bow. 25 or 29 to 125 damage when it comes to contact. But you have to hit them with it first. But its ability is much different. It detects enemies for 10 meters for a good old 10 seconds. But the cooldown is a monstrosity. It's a 20-second cooldown, the worst cooldown within all the heroes. So use it wisely, especially if you're going to be going into corners and that. It really helps for your teammates too to see where your enemies are at too. Now the last ability is a bit unique compared to some of the other abilities. This one is called Scattered Arrow, and when it hits the ground or any wall, it'll scatter onto 6 arrows. The 6 arrows depend on the charge on what you use on your weapon. If it's low, it's going to be doing about 25 damage, but if it's on a high charge, 75 damage each. And it all depends on the charge, and it has a decent long cooldown, within about 10 seconds. This is perfect if you're going to be going into a room, or if your enemies are in a room, because those arrows are going to be bouncing everywhere, and they can easily just hit 1 or 2 people, maybe even finishing them off. Or even you can use it below a hero and just use the arrows to scatter towards them, and you can easily get a whole bunch of damage, if not a kill within it. Now the last ability, like McCree, made him famous, and this one is no exception. This one is called Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike, what it does is that you fire a slow moving dragon, or 2 dragons, that does about 200 damage within each second. And it's very slow moving too, and it goes through shields and walls within a 4-meter radius. And it goes throughout the entire map, and it's going to be a huge nightmare when it comes to close proximity. But if you're at longer ranges, you can just move out of the way. So with all that said, let's see how we can play as Hanzo. Now compared to the other snipers in the game, Hanzo's more of a mobile / medium range sniper, especially when it comes to its parabolic arch. You will have to lean onto your shots depending on the range. If it's on longer ranges, you're going to have to lean your arrows more upward. But charge all your arrow shots to get the most damage possible, but if enemies are at close range with you, fire as much as possible. They might do 25 damage, but hell, it's a lot worth it. Not as useful compared to the other snipers, but still useful. But use your sonic arrow when it comes to corners or near rooms to detect enemies. And use the scatter arrow when it comes to rooms or underneath heroes to get all those arrows to hit the enemy, and even to kill them as well. And use the dragon strike when the enemy are at corners, behind walls, or in a tight space. That can definitely help if they're going to be all lathered up in turrets, or even when they're right behind an Orisa, and you are not even close to them or on their side. So if that helps, that can give you a whole bunch of kills, but remember, Dragon Strike is pretty slow, and they can easily just move out of the way if they see it on time. So without further ado, let's play as Hanzo.
I've been holding on for so long, I can't remember why. The fire's gone, a moment's out, the embers have gone dry. I don't need your love.
And that's about it. Galactic Storm saying, vote, rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and be sure to look at my Facebook page down below. And until then, Galactic Storm saying, keep charging, bitches.